She saw him before he saw her. The wagon stood still beneath the cottonwood, its wheel crooked against a stone, and her little girl sat in the back, barefoot, sunlit, full of laughter Josie hadn't heard in months. The child was playing with a piece of twine, twisting it between sticky fingers, humming a tune she must have learned here, in this man's quiet care. Josie didn't step closer. Not yet. The dust of the trail clung to her hem, and shame clung to her spine. 2 months was a long time to be gone. Boaz McCall stood beside the wagon, his frame a wall against the setting sun, arms crossed, face unreadable. Broad-shouldered, sun-darkened, quiet as ever. She remembered his silence like others remembered voices. It filled a room without sound. She didn't know what he was thinking, but he hadn't walked away. She wasn't sure what she had expected. Fury, maybe. Rejection. A man who would spit in the dust and say she had no right to show her face after abandoning her own child on the porch of a church. But he didn't move. Didn't reach for his hat or his gun. Just stood there, eyes on the child, until they turned, slowly, and found Josie's. She froze. The townsfolk saw her then. First one, then two. Murmurs rippled out like a wind catching wheat. The blacksmith's wife leaned toward her husband, whispered behind a gloved hand. The preacher's daughter crossed herself like Josie carried plague. She came back, someone said. God have mercy, came another. She don't deserve that baby. Josie gripped the bonnet in her hand tighter, the one she'd sewn from a torn petticoat, white cotton, pink stitch, the child's name looped into the hem, Lark. A piece of herself left behind. Proof she hadn't meant to let go entirely. But none of them knew that. They only saw the girl who gave her daughter away. Boaz didn't speak. He just looked at her, the way he always had, steady, unmoved, unafraid. And yet something in his eyes had changed. A question was there now, or maybe an answer. Lark saw her next. The toddler's face lit up, and she clambered over the wagon edge like a drunk puppy, falling into the dirt and laughing. Josie dropped to her knees just in time to catch her. The girl's arms wrapped around Josie's neck, small and fierce, and Josie inhaled the scent of her milk, dust, a trace of lavender soap. Her daughter. Whole, safe, fed, and loved. That part broke her. She hadn't expected love. She pressed her face into Lark's curls and rocked gently, the way she used to when the nights were long and the firewood had run out. When all they'd had was each other. She'd whispered lullabies into the dark back then, prayed for a second chance. Prayed harder when she left her baby behind, because no mother does that without bleeding on the inside. Now her hands trembled with the weight of having her back. Boaz moved finally, slow as dusk, boots crunching in the dirt. He stopped a few feet away, hands at his sides, hat in one. She stood with Lark in her arms, not sure what to say, if anything. He looked at the child first, then at her. "You rode all this way?" he asked. It was the first thing he'd ever said to her directly. His voice was deeper than she remembered. Rough like uncut timber. Josie nodded. 3 days. "You hungry?" She hesitated. "We ate yesterday." He nodded once, as if that was all he needed. Then he turned toward the wagon, reached in, and came back with a cloth bundle. Biscuits. Not warm. Still good. She took it, slowly, and murmured thanks. Her voice cracked. Lark was already nibbling a corner. "I didn't leave her," Josie whispered. Boaz's eyes didn't change. "You set her down." "I had to." He said nothing. "I was sick," she added. "Not in the body. Just worn. She had a fever. I had no firewood, no milk, no way to keep her alive. But I didn't leave her in the river. I brought her to a church. I made sure someone would find her. She found me." Josie blinked. "The preacher asked me to take her. I said yes." "Why?" He looked at her for a long time before answering. "Didn't seem like she'd cry if I held her." That silenced her. The wind shifted. The town behind them seemed to hush. "She didn't," he added. Josie swallowed. Boaz crouched to pick up the fallen bonnet from the dust. His thumb traced the stitching. He didn't ask what it meant. You stitched this. I wanted her to have something from me. Means you didn't plan to vanish. No. A pause. He handed it back. She took it with both hands, heart loud in her ears. I never had anyone to teach me how to stay, she said, softly. He gave a slight nod, the kind you gave a horse you didn't want to spook. I don't know what to ask, Josie said, lowering her eyes. Then don't ask. But she lifted her gaze. And something inside her, tired but still beating, rose to the surface. You adopted her. He nodded. She held the bonnet to her chest, then looked him dead in the eye. Could you ever love me, too? Boaz didn't blink. Behind them, someone scoffed. A man in a vest too clean for work. You got nerve, girl. A woman's voice followed. He don't want your shame. Boaz stood, turned, and with one step, one heavy bootfall, he silenced them both. No words, just presence. It was how he spoke. Then, slowly, he returned to Josie and her daughter. He reached out, not for her hand, not for a kiss, but for the bonnet again. And he tied it gently beneath Lark's chin, knotting it like it mattered. She missed this, he said. Then he looked at Josie. So did I. Tears stung her eyes. She bit her lip. The sun slid lower, throwing a golden stripe between them and the town. Boaz turned toward the wagon and paused. You coming? She stepped forward. With her daughter on her hip and the stitched bonnet back in place, she followed him. Not as a beggar, not even as a bride, but as someone trying to learn how to stay. They didn't say another word. They didn't have to. And behind them, the church bell rang. Not for judgment this time, but something quieter, like permission, like grace. Which city are you watching our video from? Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you.